All right, so working on the next step. In this case, I have my U channel. I have all my dual blocks set up. Now I want to move on to the next step where, well, let's see, I'm going to need to have two of these, and then I need to attach them to this frame. So if we go back into this, I can make multiple of these. But it's actually going to start to get messy. So I don't know if we talk too much about over here, but we can see all the different objects, all the different parts, and all the different mates that exist so far for my object. You can imagine as I build this entire robot, there's going to be like a ton of pieces here, and there's going to be a ton of mate features. We have, 5 of these and 4 of these already with just a single piece. We're going to have many pieces. So what we can do is we can group these together. So I'm going to select all of these objects in here. I'm going to right click and we're going to say move to new subassembly. So that's going to kind of that's an organization technique where we're going to put everything kind of into a single spot. There's some other nice features of doing this, but one of the features that we kind of keep a nice organization. I don't like that it's assembly 2, so I can go in here and change the properties. And I'm going to call this a crossbar. Say apply. Okay, so now we have crossbar. I need to have 2 of these. So again, instead of having to do all that process again, we can hit copy, paste. So Command C, Command V, or right click, copy, paste. And we have multiple crossbars. I think what's kind of interesting about this, we don't have to worry about that. All the mates are already kind of linked together. One thing that's kind of interesting about this is that these kind of get locked in place. We can no longer delete parts from here directly. That's one kind of interesting thing. The second thing is we can actually isolate down to just a single one of these crossbars. If we look along the bottom tab, we can see our assembly, our main assembly that has all of our parts, or we could also isolate down into a single assembly. So if we click on crossbar, we then get that single assembly and we can mess with that. If we decided, for example, maybe we decided I want to put in quad, I'm not going to go through all this, but say we want to put in quad blocks instead of dual blocks, or for some reason I want to delete these, I could delete this in one case. And then when I go back to my assembly, since I've messed with this crossbar assembly, it's going to get deleted for both of these examples of crossbars, which is kind of an interesting, not very useful in this moment, but kind of a nice, if I want to make a change to one setup, one assembly, I can just do it in one spot and it'll mess with all the other sub-assemblies. So I'm going to go back to my crossbar. I'm going to add that back in there. But I think that is kind of an interesting feature of, one, being able to highlight down into a single part, and then also being able to modify all of those types of parts in a single spot without having to do that individually. So I think that's kind of cool. All right, so we have some sub-assemblies here. We're going to add in our next piece. Our next piece is going to be these long bars, our long U channels in here. We need to look at how do we connect this. So to me, it looks like when we have our dual block, I want to attach this hole here should be matched up with the outer side of this U channel. This U channel, if we go up to the top here, we should grab this SKU. I'm just going to do this. Probably won't do this too many more times. Hopefully you can do this on your own now. We're going to say insert. We're going to do other documents. Okay, go build. It looks like we're in the right spot. I'm going to import that. And we'll see. We're going to pause. It's going to take a minute. All right, we've got our U channels in here. Let's say they're all in progress except for this one. To make sure they're this right version. Let me try something else. Sometimes this helps. If I hit home, I don't know if this is actually going to make a difference, but I'll try. Yeah, sometimes I feel like going back to the home and then searching back into go build it sometimes seems like it makes a difference. I don't know why that is. It's the way OnShape is. But anyways, we're going to click in, get 2 of these 17-hole U channels. 1, 2. And then we need to start lining these pieces up. So let's go. We're going to hit check to make sure we actually keep those in there. And we're going to line these 2 things up. Let's see. I'm going to do, all right, so I know in here, it should be in our document, in our build document, it's going to be that 4th hole in here. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to use a fasten mate. I'm going to go through, I'm going to grab the center of this thing, make sure I have my mate checked on the center. It can be kind of annoying to get this just right, but it's worthwhile to take the time to get that right. Let's say that, actually I'm going to make a little mistake. I'm going to do a purposeful mistake. That should be here. Let's say that I am not quite sure where that should go. Let's say I'm going to put that up here. I kind of just maybe miscounted. I put it in the wrong spot. Ooh, 2 interesting things. One, I did this fasten mate, and you'll notice that it only brought the dual block with it, which might seem like a bit of a problem, or well, what about the other piece? It's actually, right now, OnShape is going to save some memory and save some compute power by only showing the dual block move. If we want to see everything, how it's going to affect the other mates that exist or other fasten, we can hit solve, and it will move the entire object. So it'll move both the objects together, and we'll see how they look together. That looks, ooh, well, I could try and rotate that, but I don't think that's going to fix it. Oh, again, see, it just rotated the dual block. I can hit solve, and it will update everything. Well, we're getting better, I guess, but not so much better. Let's try and rotate another one. Solve, rotate, solve. Oh, I just kind of messed this up, right? I didn't kind of line them up correctly. What I can do here, instead of having to start all over, is if I just go into my mate connectors, I can just delete this one and say that's not the right mate. I didn't want to do that here. I actually wanted to be, my mate should have been like 4 holes in, 1, 2, 3, 4. It should actually been this one down here. I'm way off. So if I just exit out on here, I can then select the right mate. It's so much easier to do that than restarting everything like all over again. We hit solve, right? And then, oh, I still didn't get that right. That actually wasn't on purpose, although I can show how to fix it. What did I mess up here? Oh, because 4 hole, that was lining up with this back one, but I selected the front piece. Okay, so that should actually be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Should be actually 8 spaces in. All right, so again, I don't need to go back and redo everything. I can just go into my fasten and say edit, and then I'm going to delete this thing, and I need to set it up to be, oh, we get another helpful tool on here. Maybe I don't, well, okay, no, I'll just move this over. Let's look at my piece on here. Should be, I see this big circle, and then it's over like 2 spots from that. So let's say big circle over 2 spots from that. It's going to be on the bottom. I think it should be right there. Let's hit check. All right, now we're looking good. We have that in the right spot. This one, this back piece is aligned. If you compare that with our diagram, I think this is looking pretty good. We have that kind of lined up. All right, I'm going to do that same process. I'll do one more for this, and then I'll probably leave you to finish up. Let's see. Let's just get this other dual block, this other thing in here. Again, at this point, if you feel like you got it, you can definitely close out and move on to the next thing, get this done, move on. But for those of you who want a little more detail or want to see me work it out here, I can do that. So let's see. Let's select the mate. Again, just got to be really careful. There we go. Now it's right in the center, just where I want it. If I select in some other spot on here, it's just going to really mess up the geometry. Because you can see that mate connector is kind of like perpendicular to the face of my piece, or the center is kind of like, yeah, it's on the face, but that's in a weird spot. We really want to make sure that's directly in the center, which we have. Okay, so let's figure out where this is going to be. So it's going to be that left hole. If we look back at our U channel here, I don't know, 1. I'm going to do big hole and then how many over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It looks like 8 plus 1 tiny hole. So let's count that on here. It should be 8. Let's see. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 1. Maybe this thing's actually getting in my way. I can show one more thing in here. Maybe this thing's kind of getting in my way. It's being a little bit annoying. I can hide it, so I just don't see it. And then if I go back to my fastens, maybe it's easier to count off on where I need to be. Let's do our fasten in here. And then we're going to mount that up to, well, now I can't see. I feel like it's actually harder now. Oh, it's going to be over there. Okay. Highlight it. You can see it's kind of right up there. Okay, so 1, 2, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 1. I think it should be right here. Let's solve it to see what it looks like. And I think that looks good. And make sure the other crossbar is in place. Yeah, we hit check. And we should be good. I think at this part we could do like what I might call sanity check. We could grab this thing, kind of move it around, make sure everything's kind of still moving in place, looking good. Okay, so I'm going to leave. I'll do the last part. We're just going to do, really I only need one more fasten. If I fasten this in the correct spot with this, all the other pieces will line up. So I'm going to do that off camera.